This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg TV. Thanks for joining us. The 21-year-old National Guardsman arrested in the Pentagon documents case appearing in federal court today in Boston for allegedly accessing and leaking highly classified national defense information. The Guardsman, Jack Teixeira, who refused bail, could face up to 15 years in prison if convicted. Joining us to discuss, Massachusetts Congressman Jake Auchincloss. Congressman, thanks for being with us. I can't imagine your thoughts on this happening essentially in your own backyard. And I wonder if you think the charges fit the crime.
It's embarrassing for the United States as a nation and distracting for the country and our allies as we pursue critical aims like the spring counteroffensive for the Ukrainians. This individual and any of his accomplices who helped leak these documents should, if found guilty, be punished for betraying the confidence of the United States, for undermining the U.S. national interest, and most grievously, for putting their compatriots overseas in harm's way.
It sounds like, Representative, that you think this is a serious issue. Why did the Biden administration and the president himself try to downplay this leak? We're still learning about so much of what's in those documents also today.
It's a serious crime, and it should be prosecuted fully. I have not yet seen any indications that the documents that have been leaked are going to long-term strategically undermine U.S. national interests, whether in regards to our allies or to our sources and methods. Now, more may come out, but I do think that our partnership with countries like South Korea, which is based on deep shared values and strongly aligned priorities, is going to be able to withstand the dings and dents from this embarrassing week.
You mentioned Ukraine, Congressman. You and I have talked quite a bit about the war effort and what might come this spring. How concerned are you about what we saw in these documents about Ukraine's readiness and what Russia may have learned from all of this?
I'm concerned. It's the one that concerns me the most. And we should use it as a country and as a national security establishment in Washington as a clarion call to redouble our support for the Ukrainians fighting on the front lines of the free world. This spring counteroffensive is momentous. It's important not just militarily for their ability to punch through the lines in the south and or the east, but also politically in creating the conditions necessary for a negotiated long-term peace that secures Ukrainian borders and provides it a pathway to the Black Sea or the Sea of Azov that gives it industrial viability in the long run. We need this counteroffensive to be successful, and we should leave no stone unturned. We should leave no arm unshipped in making the Ukrainians the most potent fighting force they can be.
So is your thinking now that because of these documents, Ukraine is now put in a more vulnerable place when it comes to this fresh potential offensive we're going to see from Russia?
I haven't seen clear and convincing evidence of that yet, but I do certainly see it as a possibility. Regardless, though, this incident should serve as a catalyst for increased U.S. commitment to the cause of Ukraine and to redouble our efforts in support of their counteroffensive. It also needs to be a jumping-off point for some very tough and pointed questions for the Pentagon on Capitol Hill. Pentagon officials are going to have to explain why a junior enlisted Air National Guardsman has access to Ukrainian war plans being briefed to the Joint Staff.
Congressman, you, of course, led an infantry unit in combat in Afghanistan as a Marine. And I wonder your thoughts as a veteran about what we have learned over the past couple of days from the White House, from the Biden administration, about its withdrawal from Afghanistan. And I'm going to start by bringing you back 2 years. President Biden announced a withdrawal. Let's listen.
After consulting closely with our allies and partners, with our military leaders and intelligence personnel, with our diplomats and our development experts, with the Congress and the Vice President, as well as with Mr. Ghani and many others around the world, I've concluded that it's time to end America's longest war. It's time for American troops to come home.
That was on April 14th, 2021, this day. Fast forward to roughly 1 week ago at the White House, the National Security Council spokesman John Kirby recapping the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan following that internal review. Here he is.
That airport was basically, for all intents and purposes, American property, surrounded by the Taliban and ISIS-K. So they not only had to run an airport, get the radars up and going, do air traffic control, get planes coming in and getting them loaded, have medical screening, have security vetting, have diplomatic presence on the ground to make sure that we're putting the right people on planes, but also defend that airport from external threats. That's pretty remarkable. And so for all this talk of chaos, I just didn't see it, not from my perch.
Congressman, I know you supported the withdrawal from Afghanistan and the war that you fought in. We also lost, of course, over a dozen service members in the process. Is the administration taking the right posture on this by essentially blaming the prior administration?
The Biden administration is recounting for the American public the decisions that it faced when it took office. Donald Trump had negotiated a deal in secret in Doha with the Taliban that basically said America is going to leave and the Taliban has to pinky promise that they're not going to do anything wrong in the meantime. It was one of the worst deals ever negotiated in the history of American foreign policy. Joe Biden took office. Wow. He had a decision to make. One, he could leave Afghanistan, end 20 years worth of failed forever war. Or two, he could significantly ramp up American troop presence and fight another decade against the Taliban. There was no middle way. Let me be very clear about this. There was no option to keep 2,500 troops there safely. That would have put them in the immediate, imminent harm's way. Joe Biden made the morally courageous decision to tell the American people that this war could not be won with force of arms. It had a political solution, not a military solution, and that the responsible thing to do was to withdraw American troops so that we could focus on the Indo-Pacific and the true 21st century threat of the Chinese Communist Party.
But does this report shift too much of the blame in terms of the days of those withdrawal? You had individuals falling off planes of U.S. military aircraft, and then you have the White House coming out and saying that they did not see chaos.
There is no flawless way to exit a nation with 20 years worth of materiel and logistics. And certainly not when the president of the country you are tasked with defending flees instead of leading his troops, as we see someone like Volodymyr Zelensky do in Ukraine. What the Biden administration had to do was make a hard decision as commander-in-chief, which is to say, is this a war that is in America's best interest, and is this a war that we can win? And the answer, after 20 years of dissembling from the American national security establishment, was no. We had accomplished the counterterrorism mission. The nation-building mission could not be done with force of arms, and it was time to turn our bandwidth and our resources to true geostrategic priorities.
Congressman, thank you so much for that insight, especially since you fought there and given up a lot of your time and security for the United States. That's Jake Auchincloss, Congressman from Massachusetts. Coming up the program, the IRS